Welcome Junior Takis, welcome to the theory video on the adaptations of the eye. Right, I have color coordinated the different parts. When you download your notes, of course, you can color in the diagram so that you can see the different parts clearly. Right, now let's look at the outer part of the eye. I always start off with the outer part of the eye, and here you can see is the sclera, which is in red. The sclera is the tough outer fibrous layer. Anything that's so tough and on the outside and fibrous, the function obviously to be to protect the inner layers. The middle layer that I colored in here in yellow is the choroid. And most people don't learn the choroid and don't know how to spell the choroid. So the choroid is the middle layer, and the choroid has a pigment called melanin. And melanin is there to absorb excess UV rays or light from the sun. The choroid also has blood vessels, which allows for oxygen and nutrients to go to the cells in the eye and to remove carbon dioxide and nitrogenous wastes from the cells in the eye. Then the inner layer here is the retina, which is in green. The retina is the layer where the image forms. And the retina has special photoreceptor cells, has rods and cones. And the rods and the cones, the rods are there for black and white vision and dim light vision, and the cones are there for color and bright light vision. In purple here, I have colored in the optic nerve. That's the nerve that transmits impulses to the cerebrum. Don't say brain, that is too vague, because now you've learned the functions of the cerebrum. Then directly in front of the optic nerve, is the blind spot. And the blind spot, from its name, no image forms there because there's no rods and no cones. So there's no image, so you can't see anything at that point. Then the yellow spot, as you can see, is an indentation in the retina, and that's the place where the clearest image forms. And the reason for that, because there's only cones. And so that we know cones are responsible for bright light and color vision, so that's the place where the clearest image forms. Now, this is now the back of the eye. The back of the eye is filled with vitreous humor, and the vitreous humor is like a jelly-like structure or jelly-like fluid, and it's gel. So it refracts light, it will maintain the shape of the eye and supply these parts of the eye with oxygen and nutrients. All right, so that is the back of the eye. Now let's go to the front. In light blue here, I have colored in the conjunctiva, and the conjunctiva has a lot of pain receptors to protect the eye. Directly below the conjunctiva in red is the continuation of the sclera, where the sclera becomes convex and transparent, and that's the cornea. Anything that's convex in the eye is to refract light, and anything that's transparent is to let light pass through. So that is the cornea. Then in the brown part of the eye, that's the colored part of your eye. So here I made this person have brown eyes. That's the iris, and the iris is on either side of the pupil. The iris has muscles that controls the size of the pupil, and the pupil is a hole or a space and allows light to pass through. Then the part of the eye, that's the front here, that I'm coloring in a lightish orange, that's the anterior chamber. And the anterior chamber is filled with aqueous humor. And aqueous humor is a liquid, and the liquid will also help to refract light and supply the front of the eye with oxygen and nutrients. Now, in pink, there's a little dot. That's the ciliary body with the ciliary muscle, and that muscle is very important to play a role in accommodation. And then I left in black the suspensory ligaments that hold the lens in place. And the suspensory ligaments also play a very important role in accommodation. In gray, and the last structure, the most important structure, is the lens, which I'll now color in black. That is the lens, and the lens is biconvex. Anything that's biconvex is to refract light, so it's rounded on one side and convex on the other side. So convex on one side and on the other side convex, so that's why we say it's biconvex. It's transparent to let light pass through, and it's flexible for accommodation. So these are the adaptations of the eye. Make sure you know how to label the diagram and you know the structure and the function. Thank you for joining me for my theory video on the adaptations of the eye. Thank you.